Standing before you today, I am the only candidate who can make this promise. I will prevent World War III, because I really believe you're going to have World War III. Because I believe you're going to have it.
That was former President Donald Trump telling you one and all that World War III is a-comin', and the only guy who can stop it is someone who once sold steaks on the TV. You make up your own mind about that. As it turns out, Donald Trump has been thinking about the end of the world a lot lately, and he's been more than happy to share his brain droppings with audiences around the country. Here's Trump opening up on the future of American democracy.
This time in the history of our country, World War III is looming like never before in the very dark and murky background. Lack of leadership is solely responsible for this unprecedented danger to our beautiful USA and likewise to the world itself. Hopeless Joe Biden is leading us into oblivion. We cannot let it happen. We have to take back the White House, or our country is doomed.
You heard that right. Trump isn't just going to win World War III, he's also going to prevent the death of democracy in America, which is kind of funny, coming from someone who experts say is likely to be indicted for efforts to undermine democracy. If you think Trump's language has gotten even more apocalyptic than usual lately, you aren't wrong. There's been a trend across the GOP, and that darker shift has a lot to do with firing up the right-wing base ahead of 2024. And all that fear-mongering has led to some pretty weird results. Just take this guy, who thinks Joe Biden could learn him some principles from that Mr. Putin there over in Moscow.
If Joe Biden or Vladimir Putin were running for president of the United States in 2024, who would you vote for?
Well, not Joe Biden.
That goes to show how, how warped,
Putin at least has some principles. From my,
What are those?
Outside view, he loves his country. He loves his country. Very similar to Trump in a sense.
Really getting some mixed signals here about World War III. Are we fighting the Russians or allied with them? I guess with Donald Trump, that's a 50-50 gamble. But that shouldn't worry anyone, because according to Trump, he'd have that whole Ukraine thing sorted out by lunch.
Would Putin start behaving himself if you were back in the position of commander-in-chief?
I would have that war ended within 24 hours. That war would end within 24 hours. That war would never have started.
Now you might ask, Mr. President Trump, sir, how would you end the Ukrainian war in just 24 hours? And Trump's solution is simple, by giving huge chunks of Ukraine to Russia. In a recent interview, Trump told Fox News ghoul Sean Hannity he'd be open to letting Russia lay claim to strategic parts of Ukraine as the price of a peace deal. But you didn't see Trump say that, because Fox News chose to cut that from Hannity's primetime interview. Trump shared his thoughts on World War III on Hannity's radio show, which is not a Fox property. But when Fox rebroadcast Hannity's interview with Trump on TV, they chose to leave out Trump and Putin carving up Ukraine. Now, I wonder why they did that. One thing is clear. No Republican should be within a mile of authority, especially during a time of conflict. From threats to defund NATO to praising Vladimir Putin, today's GOP is more concerned with making life easier for authoritarians than for us. Donald Trump is talking a lot about World War III, and it's a reminder of just how serious our upcoming presidential election really is. Because if our country re-elects Donald Trump, we'll definitely find out what he'd do during World War III. The Trumpers have been busy this year. Check out this video for my full report on how Republicans are doubling down on their war against abortion rights. And as always, remember to subscribe and leave a comment below to let me know what I should cover next.